Yo, what is going on, everyone? And welcome now to the MRL Fastlane for the Sportsman Truck Series. Now, for anyone that is very curious on what the Sportsman Truck Series is, and well, to be fair, if you don't follow the Twitter, you don't follow the Discord or any of the Facebook messages that we have in our official Facebook group, then you probably won't know what the Sportsman Truck Series is. So, essentially, over the off-season, we made a change. Instead of the Xfinity Series, the Light Series, the new lower series, quote-unquote, is the Sportsman Truck Series. This happens every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And with that being said, you have a look at what we had this past Monday. This was the first ever race in the Truck Series. And you can see that Baronate, full of new people, brand new faces to the MRL landscape. Most of them are new. There are a couple returners like Jordan Jauja. You also have Dakota, Drake, Keith, Hunty, Jagger, Angels fan right here. Some of these are returning, but some of these are also brand new faces. Most of them are brand new faces. Baronate got pulled. But one thing you may notice right here is that there's only black flags on. No stages, no cautions. This is the Sportsman Series regulations. It's designed to see who shows in and week out, and also makes the best out of a bad situation. If you have a wreck or anything like that, it's up to you in order to get back up to the front and finish well. Of course, we start our season at Talladega here, and, well, I mean, we had a nice little show-off here. 23 drivers, not including Xander, which, by the way, shout out to Xander for putting this entire stream on. He will be the commentator for the entire Monday series. So thank you so much and being, honestly, just stepping up to the plate, because I will be working during all of these times. So it will be fantastic to see that these streams and these drivers deserve the recognition that they are putting on. They're taking time out of their days in order to race with us. They deserve the recognition in a stream format. So thank you guys for coming on out. So with that, we are about to start the stream, or the actual breakdown of the race. And of course, I always recommend to go watch the official race here on the official YouTube. You can see it right here, the Sportsman Truck Series opener at Talladega. You can find that right here. I don't want to spoil the entire race, so we're going to kind of look into it. So, of course, you can see that Baronate started us off here, and a lot of trucks in this field. Of course, we have almost a full field, 23 drivers, and it is up to these guys to see who will be racing off to the first ever Truck Series win. Dakota, unfortunately, you saw right there, auto lagged out. He said that he accidentally hit the circle twice when trying to message someone, and because of that, he ended up backing out of the lobby. So unfortunately, he is our first DNS, so there's 22 trucks still there, and you can see that NASCAR Extreme, unfortunately, gets knocked out of the way right there. That is the one and only wreck from contact that we will see the rest of the time. The rest of the time is going to be because of lag, which is super unfortunate because, you probably saw in the other race, you can see that Thai Racing right there is a massive lag going on in the back of this pack. That lag will be a factor. I'm going to kind of skip ahead because everyone's just kind of off by themselves. Strategy is going to be abound because you have essentially 22 trucks out on the track right now. No guaranteed drafting partners. You all have to find your way up to the front. Of course, everyone's on a team. Not everyone, but most of these drivers are on a team. Like Hunty's on Mopawa, Zydel Motorsports with Tom right here in the 56, the 23 Story Squares with DKK, and it actually his teammates right behind in the 52 of Keith. So that is, you have a couple of people like that, that's not a big deal. But you can see the 13's actually lagging right there. Like I said, the only incident because of contact is because of what happened right there on lap 2. Going into the rest of the race, it is mostly because of lag, which is super unfortunate, but it's just nothing that these guys can really control. It's just lag, So looking on out the rest of the for the rest of the series, going on into a bit of a breakaway now. The a couple of the trucks got into a little bit of a lag incident, and because of that, the front pack really is starting to shrink. Of course, it's being headed by Hunty right now. Hunty at a super speedway has the worst mileage. Being out front sucks. You don't want to be out front. You want to be ideally towards the back. And we're saving fuel. So, like, ideally where Ben is, where Kobe is right now, that is ideally where you want to be. But, that's up to them. Not only that, but I'm going to pause right here, actually. Another reason to still be in the race is other people will eventually make mistakes. Something will happen to them. Eventually, there's going to be another pack forming. So all the drivers that got knocked out of this pack will find each other in different packs. So they're far from out of the race. But you can actually see right now that these guys are definitely starting to pick up the pace right now. We're going to continue watching right now. So essentially, this front pack right now is essentially just, which is essentially the top 10. This is half the field right at this point. Is all trying to get in, find themselves in a favorable position right now. Mostly it's Mopao versus DKK, but they will eventually look to the rest of the pack. You can actually see that as pit stops are now on the horizon, these guys will have to stop at least 2 times. And ideally, that's what the strategy is. It's 47 lapper. You want to pit every 16 into 32, and then you're good the rest of the way. Mostly, that's what you guys want to do, but not everyone does. Now, you can actually see right now that as this front pack, that second pack is right there. There is an individual truck, but most of the pack is behind. They are forming, and they are having their own race. So while the stream is... Oh yeah, that's actually perfect right there. Looking at the rest of the pack as pit stops are going to happen. Just saw it in the broadcast. So they are going to be looking at hopefully to come on down here soon. But Hunty pits by himself. You don't want to do that, actually. Ideally, you want to pit with someone else, at least one other person. But unfortunately, sometimes that doesn't turn out to be the way the cookie crumbles here. You can actually see that a lot of the drivers are signaling to go on pit road. In fact, the rest of this pack is going to come on down, and this is what I love, that most of these guys are brand new to the series, but some aren't. Of course, I said Story Square looking for his first ever MRL win. Unfortunately, has not found victory lane yet, but he is still looking for it. But look at what these guys are doing. Everyone gives each other space. Everyone gets on pit road, and look at that. And bada bing, bada boom, coming out of the pits. Here comes Hunty going on around. Everyone is going to come on out. And unfortunately, with him, Hunty pitting by himself, he will lose the draft. This is coming to the end of the race here, and we're going to kind of move on forward. Kobe is now in the lead. Kobe is now in the lead with Tomboy, Jagger. This front 6, essentially, because of the final pit stop, so we skipped over the first round of pit stops. This is the second stop now. And it's now dropped to 6. And there we go. There's that second pack forming right there. Story Square, unfortunately, got kicked out. That win will have to come another day. Because, like I said, with no cautions, essentially, you have to, in order to win, you have to be flawless. Absolutely flawless. And that's one of the benefits to running in a race here. In the Sportsman Series with no cautions. If you win, you deserved it. You ran a perfect race. And are deserved of that. So because of that, you can actually see that with the lap's kind of ticking on down right now. A lot of drivers are starting to make their way to the front. Baronet is trying to make his way forward, but going into the final lap here, trying to make some moves, trying to make something happen. Unfortunately, Jagger made the move way too soon, but that bottom side is not budging. Keith is actually okay with just running right behind. A little bit of contact being made into the line. Kobe will win the first ever Sportsman Series race. Keith getting his first ever podium, and Baronet getting his first ever podium. Bunch of brand new podium finishers in this first race, and very, very nice from everyone here. Very good show, and probably the one thing that Jagger, he said after the race that he made the move too soon. The 52 was perfectly okay with finishing P2. He's thinking about points. That's what he told me, at least. He was looking about points, thinking the long game, which is fantastic. Don't give that up for a win when you can finish P6 at that point, because look at that pack, or P5. Anyway, looking at the points here, very straightforward, honestly. Everyone is essentially looking, basically finishing where they, or in the points where they finished. But unfortunately, the one thing that we did not see in the broadcast, but the second pack from basically 10th on was in a massive battle. Essentially the battle between the top 5 for the end was exactly the way it was in P10 right there. So that was the one thing that unfortunately we didn't see in the broadcast, but these guys that did stream, it's in that broadcast, so definitely hit them up. These guys did phenomenal in the first ever race. Phoenix is actually next, but coming to the team standings, much like what I described in the Cup Fastlane, is everyone is on a team, well, not close to everyone, and they are looking at average finish. Purple and white, which is what Kobe is, since he is a one-truck operation, he finished P1. Well, congratulations, you lead the point standings. The Chaos Crew, with Keith and Story Square in that first and second, in P2, and then also in P8 right there. Basically, they get the second average finish. Hunty, one truck operation right now, but he will actually be joined by Monster starting next week. Gets P3. Von Poon Racing, which is headed by Jagger. He had the best finish in there, but there's also a couple other positions that that really brought down Von Poon. Baseball Freak mostly finished down here in the pack. You also had, not Baseball Freak, my bad. I apologize so much for that. Loho finishing P13. Basically, everyone that is on their team that finished below, like Jose Protege, got kind of brought down in order to bring their average team position down. Zidell had a good run. BSM here. Hurlbutt in P7. Jagger Tully in P8. And then P9 in Blazing Wheels. So this is how the team standings are looking for the trucks. And of course the stats are pretty straightforward. Essentially this is race 1 of the season. But Phoenix is up next on the calendar. Who's excited for that race? I know I am. Again, huge shout out to Xander for putting on this entire broadcast, and he's going to be with us for the entire of the season. So thank you guys so much for watching. And who do you think is going to win Phoenix? Let me know in the comments, and I will talk to you guys on the flip side. Congrats to Kobe for his first ever win. This punches his ticket to the All-Star race. Keith P2 and Baronet in P3 getting their first ever podiums. I know they were excited in the interviews right here. So thank you guys so much for coming on out and watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.